everyone. Good morning, all of you. A very warm welcome to one and all that are a part of this webinar. I thank you all for sparing your precious time and being a part of this webinar organized by markpatron.org and sponsored by HK Acharya and Company. I am Jalashri Dave, your host for this webinar and a part of HK Acharya and Company at head office. Due to situation of global pandemic COVID-19, the digital world has given us the facility to conduct such a useful webinar. markpatron.org, Gujarat Technological University, Institute of Law, Nirma University, LDA College of Engineering, Xavier's Research Foundation, ICFAI Law College cordially greets one and all present here in this webinar. Now, I would like to give a brief introduction about our organizer and co-organizers. markpatron.org. markpatron.org, established in 2004, is actively associated and dedicated to the support and advancement of intellectual property elements. The main object of the organization is to provide in-depth understanding and to create awareness of the intellectual property right among attorneys, advocates, professors, law students, and also among manufacturers and industrialists. Law students and traders and general public. markpatron.org undertake various activities at local, national, and international levels by organizing trade fairs, exhibitions, seminars, lectures, and study circle that activates to propagate the knowledge of intellectual property laws to the layman and thus creating awareness, developing recognition and acceptance of intellectual property rights. Gujarat Technological University, GTU. Gujarat in the fields of engineering, architecture, management, pharmacy, and computer technological university is a premier academic and research institution which has driven new ways of thinking since its 2007 founding, established by the government of Gujarat. Today, Gujarat Technological University is an intellectual destination that draws inspired scholars to its campus, keeping GTU as the nexus of the ideas that challenge and change the world. GTU is a state university with 486 affiliated colleges in its fold, operating across the state of Gujarat through its 5 zones at Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, Vallabh Vidyanagar, Rajkot, and Surat. The university caters to science. The university has about 4 lakh students enrolled in a large number of diploma, undergraduate, postgraduate programs, along with the robust doctoral program. It is a pioneer in introducing some innovative learning method like active learning. Institute of Law, Nirma University. Founded on the vision of Padma Shri Dr. Karsanbhai K. Patel, the Institute of Law, Nirma University, embodying the principle of justice, education, excellence, and professionalism that imparts quality legal education and has produced new generation lawyers, leaders, and policymakers over the years. LD College of Engineering, Lal Bhai Dalpat Bhai College of Engineering, Ahmedabad, is a premier government engineering institute in Gujarat set with the objectives of imparting higher education, research, and training in various fields of engineering and technology. The institute of affiliated to Gujarat Technological University, Ahmedabad, and administered by the Department of Technical Education, Government of Gujarat. LD College of Engineering was established on 20th June 1948 as one of the first few engineering colleges in India. The Xavier's Research Foundation. The Xavier's Research Foundation Trust runs the Loyola Center for Research and Development, an autonomous institute which was established in the year 1987 in St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. Its goal is to do research in science and technology and the humanities. The center not only employs scientific staff dedicated to research, but also provide infrastructural support and expertise to students working on the frontline research fields in the environmental microbiology and plant biotechnology. The mission of the center is to target grassroots communities on the fringes of our economy and through innovation, entrepreneurship, training, and handholding, set up promotion units to medium, small, and micro levels. ICFAI Law School, Hyderabad. The Faculty of Law, commonly known as ICFAI Law School, is a constituent unit of the ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, located in the lush green environment in the vicinity of the historical city of Hyderabad. The ICFAI Law School, with excellent and continuous teaching and learning process, student-centric and industry-friendly dynamic curriculum and real-life exposure provides best-in-class legal education to the students and carving them to market-ready legal professionals out to mediocre students who desire of making law as a dream career. The ICFAI Law School offers UG programs, PG programs, and doctoral programs as well as certificate programs. All the UG programs offered by the ICFAI Law School are approved by the Bar Council of India and other programs are in accordance with the UGC norms. I once again thank you all the organizers and co-organizers. So now moving forward, may I please welcome our dignitaries, our chief guest, Managing Director at Happy Engineering, Mr. Hetal Mehta, Managing Trustee at markpatent.org and proprietor of HK Acharya and Company, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya, Founder and CEO of Equis Technologies, Mr. Vikas R. Jain, Assistant Professor of ICFAI Law School, Mr. Dilip Sharma, and Trademarks Attorney at HK Acharya and Company, Mr. Ketan Bhatt. We heartily welcome you all, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya, proprietor of our company. He is a patents and trademark attorney and is registered to practice law before Indian and Canadian patent and trademark offices. He is also a member of the Bar Council of Gujarat, having an extensive background in the prosecution and litigations of all IP-related matters. He is best known for his books on the IPR laws in India, that is the patent law, the trademark law, the copyright law, the biological diversity law, and the design law. He has accumulated a wealth of experience in prosecution and litigation of patents, trademark, design, copyrights, and other intellectual property related matters. He is a member of various national and international organizations related to intellectual property rights. He is also a member of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce and the president of US chapter of USIIC, that is United States India Importers Council. So, with my utmost pleasure, I invite Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya before you to share his piece of wisdom. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jalasri. Good morning, all of you. And I welcome our chief guest, Mr. Hetal Mehta, Mr. Vikas Jain, Mr. Dilip Sharma, and our Ketan Bhatt, and all audience. It is Saturday morning, so I think you will today enjoy this trademark session of markpatent.org. Markpatent.org is about more than 15 years old organization. It is NGO, and it is just to educate the people in India for intellectual property laws. As such, I travel a lot throughout the world and I find the importance of intellectual properties in other countries, and particularly US, Japan, UK, Europe, and China. And I found that we should have to do something in India for awareness of intellectual properties. And you know that particularly in this pandemic situation, I found that particularly for China, our sweet neighbor, in 2020, they filed 3 million patents. It is a very, very huge number. So in this pandemic also situation, they were working very hard. They were doing research and they were filing the patent not only in China, but in the entire world. For micro, small scale and medium-sized enterprise, patent is also very important, as well as trademarks. Trademark, I say always that it is a mark for trading. And particularly in the beginning of any industry, and when you apply the trademark, in the beginning value of the trademark is almost zero. It is just an invented word. and you must have paid only for artistic work to artists, but market value, zero. But as the time passes and as you invest in your mark by advertisement and putting your mark always on your goods, it gives the value. Afterwards, it is such a miracle things. I observed we all have observed that when we go to the shop, we don't ask for the toothpaste, we ask for the Colgate. Colgate becomes the nickname. Same thing. When we have to copy some of our paper, we ask our person, get a Xerox of it. Xerox is a trademark. So as the time passes in your trading, the trademark is getting value in it. It is always you are adding some value. So trademark is also very, very important for SMSCs. So today we have a galaxy of speakers from industry, academia, and lawyers. I think after this session, we'll carry a lot of things in our mind with all of us. I welcome again all of you, and I am sure that you will enjoy the session. So over to Jalashri.
Thank you very much, sir. It is under the guidance of Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya that HK Acharya and Company is now a team of highly qualified and expert visionaries. This session will have series of panelists giving a remarkable approach in the subject matter, IPR and effective business tool for SMEs trading. Now, with my utmost pleasure, I would like to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Hetal Mehta. Mr. Hetal Mehta is a mechanical engineer, technocrat researcher, and a social worker. He is a certified chartered engineer and an approved valuer of machinery and plants. He also has a postgraduate diploma in business management. Mr. Mehta is a managing director of Happy Engineering Surat, an ISO 9001/2008 certified company established in 1994 and manufacturing electric induction motors and diamond jumbo skiff machines. He also heads Happy Green Technologies, which deals in lean manufacturing system, solar and other renewable energy. Apart from this, Mr. Mehta is also an independent director in various other companies. He has done research and development work and product manufacturing for Concordia University, Montreal, Canada, Cape Town University, Cape Town, South Africa, and Illinois Institute of Technology, Chicago, USA. He also holds a national patent for diamond scarf polishing machine. A past president of Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, he has held many positions of responsibility in various associations and councils relating to business, education, and engineering and government advisory boards. Mr. Mehta is also actively involved in social work and has been active member and president of Rotary Club of Surat. Now, I would like to request Mr. Hetal Mehta to share his piece of wisdom.
Good morning. Dr. Rajesh Acharya, how are you? We met earlier.
I remember very well.
Yeah.
So how are you? I'm pretty well.
Yeah, good, good. So it's a pleasure of mine to be on your forum. And good morning to all other speakers and even the guest. In fact, today your subject is very, very important subject. Unfortunately, what you told is today is a Saturday morning, so people may not have that much time. Or maybe we can have such session in the second half in future also. But yes, the subject is very, very important for India. As you rightly said, you've given the figure of China, 3 million patent every year, even this pandemic time. And if you will see compared to India, even the trademark, you can see that China has crossed in 2020 somewhere around 6 million, while India is hardly 0.3 million. So this is a huge, huge difference. if we'll see. And that is, I think that is just because of the lack of awareness. Because in our education system, we are not having the importance of patent and trademark. If we have that during the education, I think the scenario may change in India also. Because once the people will go in industry, and then they will think, oh, now I have to go for my company branding, trademark, or patent. So that may create, and that is also the company who is a startup having again a struggling time. So while struggling, his first important is to establish the company, not to think about the patent or not to think about the trademark or something. That is what we experience in the industry. And so it is very important, and what you rightly said is it is a collaboration of education, industry, and the law. If these three are collaboratively effort will do, I think the scenario will definitely change in India. It is improving. It is not that what every year, if you'll see the figure, it is improving. But if we'll see the comparing with the China or US or any other country, developed country in the world, it's very difficult. Or that figure are not at all matching with anybody in the world. So on this right platform, what you have created, I think it is very important to educate the people. And if possible, if we can advocate to the government to implement this during the education or important of this subject, I think the scenario will, in the coming year, it will be quite changed. Moreover, if we'll see again, trademark and patent both are correlated. If we'll see the trademark, okay, trademark is a part that anybody can do. But many things we are having the research, or many things we have, but we are not able to patent it. Might be the law of India, might be different, time consuming, many other things, many parameters are there. But I think if we'll go through it properly, or if we are able to synchronize it with the government, with the patent department, with the IPFC center, or with the industry, or with the lawyers, I think it will make a difference. So once again, let me congratulate Dr. Acharya and his team for organizing such a wonderful program, and all the best to all of you for having this. You can say this a live session, and I think maybe today people are less, but this you can upload this series on YouTube, and that can be gone through various peoples. So congratulate and thank you very much for inviting me in this session as a chief guest. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We are honored by your esteemed presence here, and we thank you for sparing your valuable time with us. So now moving forward with our next speaker, Mr. Vikas Jain. Mr. Vikas Jain is the founder of CEO and of Equis Technologies, which is a pioneer in the field of authenticity verification, blockchain technology, warranty and loyalty management, offering services in 11 countries, having protected 5 million products. He has successfully co-founded many other companies in the technology sector. Mr. Vikas Jain, after having acquired his bachelor degree in engineering with specialization in electronics and communication from India, did his master's in telecommunication, entrepreneurship and private activity, and master's in science and venture capital practicum both from the University of Maryland, USA. Mr. Jain also holds licenses and certifications in machine learning and growth hacking, and engineering at heart and an entrepreneur by choice. Mr. Jain believes in introducing and implementing technologies, innovations to solve the burning social and economic problems that plague the world today. With his persistent efforts and new age technology, it is possible to not just arrest technology but also to eliminate counterfeits. Beyond his life at Equis, Vikas has able as an angel investor. Also, he spends his time in non-profit organizations Camp CPR. Camp CPR aims to tackle the issue of poor emergency responses that exist in our country. So now I request Mr. Vikas Jain to share his thoughts with us. Sir, you are unaudible.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Jalshri, and welcome everyone to all the speakers and everybody who's joined the session today. I'm going to share a small presentation. Let me know if you can see my screen. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I want to take a slightly different approach to this issue of IP and patents, and mainly IP, right? So in India, definitely, I think as the speaker before me just mentioned, it's rightly a lot of issues, and there's lack of awareness in terms of IP. Not just availing the IP that you have, but also protecting it, right? So there are two parts to IP. One is registering your IP, and then second is protecting it, right? So of course, for protection also there are a lot of other aspects involved, like for example, you have legal methods which you can use, but there's also technology which can help you in protecting your IP, right? That's what I want to focus on. And there's a lot of reference to China regarding how China has actually been better than India in terms of number of patents filed, etc. But also China is also number one in terms of counterfeit products. So that's a grim side of the story as well. And you see a lot of counterfeits that come into the world actually originate from China, right? So I want to focus a little bit more on counterfeit and how people are actually leveraging your brand name, your trademarks, and actually benefiting out of it when that shouldn't be happening. So you see a lot of people, once your brand name becomes pretty big, right? Once your brand name becomes big, a lot of people will want to emulate that, create counterfeits, use your trademark, and sell that particular product into the market. So if you look at just another grim side of the story is in terms of the fake medicines. So we are talking about, this is a COVID scenario. So a lot of fake medicine, fake masks, etc., have come into the market. Carrying the brand names of bigger companies like 3M. You heard of Remdesivir, fake scam that happened in India as well. So overall, even before COVID, close to a 250,000 children are dying every year due to fake drugs. And if you look at fake counterfeits, they account for close to 30% of the fake pesticide market, and a huge market here in India, right? So I'm sure a lot of your business would want to think about how to protect your brand or your products, especially if you carry a brand, right? So this is not just counterfeiting is not just focused towards agriculture or medicine. We've seen that it exists across sectors, right? You talk about masks, of course. You saw a great increase in number of fake masks that came out. In terms of sectors, this will give you a good idea. Close to you think of any sector, be it footwear, clothing, leather goods, electronics, name of any sector. You'll see a lot of fake products exist there, which will carry your brand name, but is actually a fake product, right? And even things like which you probably will not, which you'll be shocked to hear, like baby food, toys. So even these products get counterfeited a lot, right? So in terms of this is again one more thing to understand here is the effect it has on the economy and in your business, right? So if you look at auto components, the sale of auto components in gray market was close to 30% here in India, right? So this leads to a lot of indirect tax losses to the government, also direct tax losses to the government, and mainly to the business, right? Think of it as, if a counterfeiter is copying your product, you'll obviously end up losing your sales, your profits, and also your brand loyalty, right? Because now when people buy your product thinking it's your product and using it, and once they realize it's of a substandard quality, they'll probably want to move to some other brand. So it affects your profit, sales, and also your brand loyalty. So it's very important to protect your brand from being counterfeited and from being duplicated. So of course, there is a so how does another thing to keep in mind here is these fake products end up funding a lot of criminal activities. So when the money that comes out of this industry goes towards trafficking, human trafficking, it goes towards even terrorism. A lot of this is going towards criminal activities across the world, right? Which is something which is also something which you need to think of and ensure that the way to protect is to protect your own product and your own brand. So, like I already mentioned, in terms of, you might be thinking my brand, yeah, mera brand to bahut chota hai, my brand is still small, why should I worry about this? But there's a certain point of time, if your brand starts growing, obviously it's got the attention of counterfeiters. So you need to be prepared to protect your brand from day one, right? Obviously you have a goal in mind to grow your business. So when your business grows, obviously you'll not have time to think of, protecting your brand, etc. So your focus will be more towards sales. So it's important you put in a strategy to affect or arrest this counterfeiting right from day one, and not when actually it affects you. So I'll just go through some of the methods which are currently available in terms of technology, which are available for a brand to fight this counterfeiting. Once you of course get your trademark or your patent or your copyright, and mainly your trademark, how do you ensure that when people are buying your product, they can be assured that it's a genuine product? Good thing is technology has changed, especially in India. Jio has brought in a lot of change. Now there's more smartphone penetration, there's more 4G, 3G penetration. So it's very easy for us to actually use technology and make sure that people are able to verify the product they are buying. So in terms of the current methods, there are of course holographic labels. There are holographic labels with codes. There are a lot of security thermochromic inks. There are other methods like RFIDs, NFCs, but these are all some of these are not practical in our scenario because they are expensive, and some of them do not provide the protection which you probably expect. So what in terms of these are the limitations I was just mentioning. Some of them are not scalable. Like for example, RFID is pretty expensive still in India. NFCs are still very expensive in India. So and counterfeiters are also getting sophisticated. So what you need is something which can help you protect your product from being duplicated. And especially in this scenario, because post-COVID, we've seen a great rise in e-commerce sales. And you all know that, when it comes to e-commerce, a lot of fake products are being sold online, especially, the sales of e-commerce e-commerce contributes close to 25% of fake sales that happen across, right? This has only increased post-COVID because e-commerce sales has increased. A lot of people are buying online. So it's very important now that even you protect your brand online as well. So, so the way to do it is, of course, a lot of tools are available, which, my company also provides, which help you protect both online and offline. We use technology, we use mobile-based authentication technology, along with smart labels, which go on your product, and which are then verifiable using a smartphone by the end user to ensure that it's a genuine product. Along with, of course, you'll be able to track and trace the product through the supply chain. So what I want to end with by saying is, use technology to fight counterfeiting, to fight pilferage, to fight illegal use of your brand IP. So that's very important. It's not just important to get a trademark, it's also important to ensure that that trademark is protected. So with that, I'll be ending my session. Thank you so much for the time today, and thank you so much for allowing me or giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker of the session, Mr. Dilip Sharma. He is an assistant professor at ICFAI Law School, Hyderabad, India, and is currently pursuing a PhD degree from Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad, in the field of artificial intelligence and IPR. Mr. Sharma has completed his postgraduate LLM in IPR laws at National Law University, Jodhpur, India. He has published and presented numerous papers on various topics related to IPR in several universities in India and abroad. He is also editor of 2 books recently published on intellectual property rights. Most recently, Mr. Sharma was conferred with the prestigious Young Asian IP Research Scholar Award at the 5th Asian IP Works in Progress Conference 2020. Mr. Sharma is a member of the IP and Innovative Researchers of Asia Network. Now I request Mr. Sharma to present his views with us.
Thank you, Jayashree. I hope I'm clearly audible.
Yes.
Thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank you, markpatent.org, and all the institutions who are part of this particular webinar for inviting me on this particular wonderful session on IPR an effective business tool for MSMEs, more particularly where we are focusing upon the trademarks in this particular lecture. As already stated by Hetal sir and my previous speaker, Mr. Vikas, that yes, this is indeed a very important topic for the purpose of discussion, for the purpose of the upcoming MSMEs which are rising in our country. We can see, as stated by Rajesh Acharya sir, that yes, the filing as which is there in India, it is quite less as compared to various other countries like China or in Western nations. So yes, we need to focus upon the filings, and why we need to focus upon, let's try to discuss in the upcoming slides. So if whenever we hear the word trademark, a lot many marks come into our mind, which we often hear around us. Maybe since we are doing virtually, we are present in Gujarat, so I believe Amul should be the best and the first example which I should quote over here for the beginning of our discussion. So we all have seen that Amul, which started from a very small area, and that is Anand in Gujarat, now is a very renowned international brand, which is well known across the world. And we have that sense of trust when we see that even if you are going to buy a vada pav, if you see that, okay, they are using a Amul butter, you have that sense of trust that yes. So a trademark has a goodwill which is attached to it. Similarly, there are various well-known trademarks like Domino's, Apple, Honda, Cadbury, Pepsi, Indigo, Nestle, which we use in our day-to-day life. So let's try to understand what a trademark is. So basically, it is a mark which is used to distinguish the goods and or services of one person from another, or one proprietor from another. It can be either a letter, a word, a number, figure, symbol, logo. Even nowadays, we are recognizing various non-conventional marks also, like the sound mark, the position mark, motion mark. So maybe you must have heard about that Nokia tone, Yahoo Yodel tone whenever your Nokia phone starts. So all those are the registered trademarks in India. So it's not necessary that you register only a particular name or logo only, that okay, only the name HK Acharya can only be registered. It can be the tagline which can be registered as well. So it can be a color combination. So many of these marks we can see in our day-to-day life. And when we talk about MSMEs, I can quote a number of examples where this particular trademark has helped them to a great extent. The best example we can see over here, which you often see around in this, in the state of Gujarat, Induben Khakrawala. We have seen that from a very small household entity, how they have grown to such a big brand, where today, if I am while sitting in Hyderabad, if I have enjoyed this taste when I was in Gujarat during my graduation, and still, if I feel like eating it, I can order it online. I have that goodwill on that particular mark. So in this way, trademark is helping us in getting a goodwill which is attached to our particular mark. Let's say sometimes people ask us that, okay, we are a very small entity, how it's going to help us. So I would like to quote few examples from Spring Fit mattress to a small Mahila Kala Kendra, which is based upon the Usha Silai School. They have used this particular trademark, and they from a small MSME, they have achieved the heights of a wonderful entity, which is which has earned goodwill and reached to the commercial to the heights of the commercial success using their trademark. I'll give you one example. In the childhood or someday, if we just a small household good, if let's say a broom, if you want to buy in the market, we will see hundreds of broom, and you will be really shocked to know, oh, which one to buy. But as soon as you will see, oh, a trademark is attached to it, Gala, you will be very, without any second thought, you will immediately buy it. So that is the worth of a particular trademark which is attached to your particular good. So there are various such cases where trademark gives worth to a particular entity. More particularly for maybe today we are as maybe a small or medium sized entity or a micro entity. we might not understand the worth of a trademark at this point, but if we have a dream to achieve the heights of commercial success, if we want to grow bigger, the trademark plays a very important role. There was, one of our collaborators over here is Nirma. So Nirma, if you are able to recall the history of Nirma, the Krishan Bhai Patel, we must have often heard from our parents or grandparents how Krishan Bhai Patel started this particular entity from a very small thing. But uh, imagine about the future of Nirma if there was no such name attached, just a random person who is selling a particular maybe washing powder, and it's because of the trademark that people started attaching, okay, if it's Nirma, definitely it has that particular certain quality. So that's how they have grown their business, because of the that particular trademark, which has attained the goodwill in the meantime of its uses. So there are various such similar trademarks which are there. So it's very important for an entrepreneur, for such entities like MSMEs, to register their mark. And these particular marks uh, have various kinds of benefits attached to it, like it gives you a legal protection, it gives you a unique identity to your product. You, by looking at Colgate and Pepsodent, you can very clearly identify, okay, this particular thing belong to it, and this another one is from Pepsodent, Patanjali. You can identify. So it gives a unique identity. It helps in attaining goodwill to your mark. It helps in the advertisement of your product, and moreover, it helps in the commercialization and to protect the another one to use your goodwill, the another proprietors to use your goodwill. Sometimes we see that after a particular time period, our mark get commercial success, and people, once a mark get a little bit famous, people tend to copy that particular mark, as they start using the similar mark to take undue advantage of the goodwill which you have earned. So the registration or the protection through trademark helps you protect against such infringement or passing off. Again, in when we talk about the commercializations, we can see that if you want to commercialize, if you want to grow, the licensing, assignment, all these are other uh, methods of the commercialization of your mark, through which you can. I can remember there was a well-known cake shop which started in the first, I think when I was second or third year, somewhere in 2012 or 13, in just no time, less than 2 or 3 years, they attained a very good goodwill in the city of Ahmedabad and into those particular areas. They commercialized further while licensing and opening various franchises of their particular cake shop. So these are some of the advantages. So it's very much important to protect the trademark. So you can protect it by filing to the intellectual property office. Luckily, in India now we have 5 trademark offices, including one in Gujarat itself, that is in Ahmedabad. So you can file your application using this particular method, and based upon that particular filing, you can use the symbol TM or R. TM once after the filing, and R after the registration is granted to your particular mark. And when you are filing, being an MSME, it is also very pertinent to note that the government is also generous enough that they are reimbursing for any kind of intellectual property filings which are done by the patent trade by any particular MSME regarding the patent filing, trademark filing, and GI filing. So let's suppose if your MSME is filing a particular patent. So in those particular scenarios, the reimbursement can be done up to rupees 1 lakh in India and up to 5 lakhs in foreign countries. Similarly, for trademark filing, the reimbursement is up to rupees 10,000. For GI registration, it is up to 2 lakh rupees. So the government has established various IP facilitation centers where you can file for, you can take the advantages of who can help you or facilitate you in the filing, and they can help you in the reimbursement of those particular money which you have spent in the filing. So it's not that you on your own have to even incur a huge cost for the filing. The cost of filing for trademark is not very much high. It's like if an individual or proprietor is filing, it's merely 4,500. If any particular company is filing, the cost is hardly 9,000 rupees per class per application. If any particular MSME which has the Udyog Aadhaar registration, the cost is hardly 4,500 rupees per class per application. So over here, the same will also be again reimbursed by the government. If you are a registered MSME, you just need to provide the proof of your address, ID proof, your Udyog registration number, the copy of trademark, incorporation certificates. It's just basic details you have to provide, and based upon your filing, you will be reimbursed with the cost of these particular marks. So over here, if you are falling under into these particular categories, you can file a particular anyway, you can take a trademark and you can get your cost reimbursed by this particular thing. If we see the trends of the IP filings and their reimbursement by MSMEs in the previous year, then you will see that in past almost the data which was immediately available was from 2012 to 17, wherein 16,695 people took the benefits of more than 8 crore rupees of reimbursement based upon their intellectual property filing. So there are such IP facilitation centers which can help you. Now over here, there are some important points which are to be noted by these particular entities at the time of intellectual property filing. So what are those particular key points? First of all, whenever you are filing a particular application, take care about the fact that in which class you are registering. Because in trademark, we have 45 classes under the NICE classification. Each class designate a particular category of goods or services in which your trademark lies. So let's say if you are filing for any particular electronic good, there is a particular class. If you are filing for handicraft, there is a particular class for which you are filing a registration. So it is very much important to see that for which class you are filing your registration for the trademark. And it's always better, the sooner the better you can file, and you can file into multiple classes at a particular point of time. And even you can start filing your application even before you start your own business. The only requirement is that within the after the grant of 3 years, after the grant within 3 years, you have to start using that particular mark. So it's better, the sooner the better you file your trademark application, because it's a slightly lengthy process. It takes approximately 1.5 to 2 years to grant the registration of the trademark. But once you file the trademark, you can use the word TM, which will inform the competitors and the consumers in the market that yes, you are intending to register your trademark. And also it is to be noted that these trademarks are quite territorial in nature. When we say that territorial in nature, means if you have protected in India, the rights are limited to the territory of India. If you want to protect your mark, if you want to expand your business in another countries, it is always suggested to file your mark in the foreign countries as well. So through Madrid Protocol, India is a party, so we can file an application into the foreign countries, into the classes, into the particular countries where we want to protect our mark. Now through Madrid Protocol, the process has become very easy. Through a single application, we can file into multiple countries. We can select in which country we want to expand our business, where we want to protect our mark. And the next important thing, due to which sometimes people, even they have filed the mark, they lose their protection because of not timely renewal of their mark. So it is very much important to note that a trademark is initially granted for a period of 10 years, which is supposed to be renewed after every decade. So you have to timely renew your particular trademark on a time-to-time basis. So renewal is another important thing which is to be noted. And you have to very appropriately use the word TM or R for registered or the file trademark symbol, so that people will get to know that you have a particular protected mark. So it will reduce the chances of any kind of infringement if your trademark taking place. Further, as I mentioned, you can do the commercialization by uses, by licensing, assignment of your mark. And you can also stop other people from using your particular trademark which you have registered. Even for unregistered trademarks also, you can take the passing of action, but you have to prove certain things in those particular scenarios. So it is always suggested to have the registration of your trademark. And lastly, that if in case someone is infringing your mark, if someone is using your trademark which you have developed goodwill since a long period of time, since users, let's say if tomorrow I use the trademark of Indu Bank Khakrawala. So an infringement action can lie against me, and the appropriate injunction orders will be granted by the court, or the damages or the accounts of profits will be given to the proprietors whose mark has been infringed by someone else. So these are the benefits or perks of the registration of a trademark by your entity. Maybe you are a very maybe a small, medium, or micro enterprise, but still trademark protection really helps a lot. And especially when we have the reimbursement policies of the government, taxation benefits, all these particular things are available on filing. I think we should definitely look forward to try to register the trademark of our particular entity as soon as possible. So with this, there are also some expectations of these particular MSMEs from the IP offices that there should be a simple and user-friendly system. So now you will be really happy to know that we can file right from with the comfort of our laptop. Now the e-filings are permitted for trademarks, and also there are the benefits in terms of less registration fees has also been given for the e-filing. Then the entities generally expect a predictable and uniform result. So based upon the trademark offices have a very effective system of examination of our application, and based upon that, if any opposition happens, then to listen to both the parties and ultimately to decide upon the grant or rejection of the application. So this particular filing of the trademark gives us a legal certainty regarding the protection of our mark and to protect its goodwill. So with this, I would like to rest my presentation, and I hope that the various MSMEs will register their mark with the help of the organizations like HK Acharya and Mark Patent, who are effectively helping such organizations in the registration of their mark. And similarly, in our ICFI Law School, we also facilitate the entities in the protection of their intellectual property rights. So thank you, everyone. And thank you especially to the markpatent.org and Rajesh Kumar Acharya, sir, to share my views from the academic point of view. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Ketan Bhatt. Mr. Ketan Bhatt is a trademark attorney and heads the trademark division of our firm with his expertise and experience. He holds a master degree in law with specialization in IPR and also bachelor degree in commerce from Gujarat University. He is also a member of the Bar Council of Gujarat. Now, I would like to request Mr. Ketan Bhatt to enlighten all of us with a subject matter and effective tool for SMEs trademarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Jalashri. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. So first of all, I'd like to thank to the organizer, markpatent.org, to arrange such a wonderful session on trademarks. Of course, it is an effective and essential tool for MSME. And before me, I guess, some presentations are already there as far as trademarks is concerned, how the procedures are going on. So I will not going to take any technical aspects as far as the trademarks is concerned, whether it is a procedural part, or I will just try to focus on how a trademark is important, how MSME can gain the benefits out of a registration through a trademark. So as I told you, I will not going to give any technical definition. I will just trying to give you the practical definition of what is a trademark. This is the packaging of very famous label of Unilever product. So I just hide the trademark part of this label. So if you want to, or if you wish to buy this product, and you need to explain that the packaging or the label of this particular soap is yellow or golden or something like that. The photograph of heroine is there or something like that. But unless and until you do not know the actual brand name of this product, it's very difficult to identify the product. So this is the real product. You just need to stay relaxed. That's it. If you're in front of the provision store, whichever product you want to purchase, you just need to name the product. Now, Of course, I will not go with any technical aspect, but I just need to inform you why the trademark is very important from last 10 to 20 years. Already know that from 1991, the related Prime Minister Narasimha Rao and then the Finance Minister Manmohan Singh, they introduced the policy of modernization and all. So after that, we have so many international brands. They can do the business directly in India. Previously, they have to, collaborate with some local brands. And because of that, we have some collaborations like Maruti Suzuki, TVS, Suzuki, and later Pepsi. So the situation in the 90s was like this. Our parents or grandparents, they are actually very intelligent. They can actually touch and see the product. They can understand the quality, whether they want to purchase the rice, whether they want to purchase a food grain or any other product, whether or oil. So by touching the product, they actually understand the quality of the brand. Now we are the new generation people. Of course, if you ask me and if you check and go, this is the rice product, you just check and see whether this is a good product or good brand rice or not. Then of course I am not able to do that. I will just going to say that I need some brand rice or something. I need a aeroplane brand rice or something like that. I just know the brand name, and because of the brand name, I know that quality of that particular brand is good. So trademark actually gives the quality assurance. Now this is the market in 90s. Now this is the current market. Current market, I mean to say that the market of before COVID situation. People used to go to the shopping malls. They will just going to see the packaging of the brand, and they will just going to remember. They will use the particular product. They will see the experience. If the experience is good, they will just remember their brand. And whenever they go next time to the same shopping mall, they will just going to take the same particular brand. That's it. Now, the current situation. Now, we already know that from last 1.5 years, we have so many, 3 to 4 different types of lockdowns are there, or partial lockdowns are there. Because of the precautions, people don't want to go outside or any shopping malls or any the market. So now it is the responsibility of the manufacturer as well as trader to go in front of the customers. Customers will never going to go in the market or any shopping malls or something like that. So this is a big challenge as far as the MSMEs is concerned. At the time of demonetization also, there was a huge challenge for the MSMEs because they have to be, online active, the online payment module should be there. So they have to took that challenge and they are advanced enough. Now again, it is one more challenge to them that they have to do the business online. Now, while doing the business online, people have to remember your name, whether it is your trade name, whether it is your brand name, or it is your packaging, because they will just going to enter something on their computer screen or mobile screen. So this is the concept and development of brands and trademarks in India, and we all know it. The situation is not only in India; it is also in abroad. But the Western countries and they are very much familiar with it. We already know that from last 1 year, the big basket is grown, GPay is grown. So many different, the Zoom. Before this corona, we actually do not know what is Zoom. How we can, connect with each other, or we can arrange this, such sort of conferences. Because we used to do it manual conference, not the online one. We used to attend the physical meetings, the physical conference. So this is the biggest opportunity as far as the MSMEs is concerned. They have to actually, because whenever you have started a business, I'm not talking about any patents or design. You create new invention, new innovation. You actually, create some mechanical products or go with some designs. Just change the few things of the article to pick your design. As far as trademark is concerned, whenever you want to open a particular new business, the first question will be there: with which name you will go into do the business, that is your trade name, and with which brand. So whenever you go with new business, the trade name and trademark is always going to be there, but you just need to protect it. And you need to give the actually importance to it. You need to go for a registration. You have to be remain present on the online or business market, whether it is Amazon or Flipkart. Well, I guess you already know that the Amazon, Flipkart, they already have a separate brand registry. So if you want to sell your product in Amazon, you should have your trademark application with you. You used to have to submit the trademark application number and the trademark application copy as well, whether it is Amazon or Flipkart. And they also have the infringement policy as well. If someone else using the same brand, and if it is your registered brand, you need to give the complaint to the Amazon brand registry, and they will going to remove the name of infringer from the Amazon product listing. So for the MSMEs now, it is the now if they want to remain exist in the business, they should remain present on in the internet market, and for that the trade name and brand name is very, very important. Now, the concepts and development for brands and trademarks in India. Now, previously, as I said, in the 90s, we never used to eat any outside food products, whether it is namkeen breads or bakery products. So, from 90s onwards, we used to see this namkeen wafers and breads and all such kind of products in the market, whether it is Samrat namkeen or super bread or something like that. Even IT products and computers, mobile laptop. We all see that from last 10 to 15 years, the market actually grows for this kind of products. And new invention products, variety of products like Xerox, Favistic, Walkman, and Astro. Now, let's see how trademark can be an effective business tool as far as the trademark, the new product is concerned. Now, Favistic, they come across with a new concept. Of course, they have may acquire the patent for this particular thing, and they may also acquire the design. They come up with a new glue. Previously, we already seen the ad of Favistic. Previously how we used to, apply the glue on the envelopes of cover with using our hands or something like that, but it's very freaky and something like that. But Favistic, they come across with a very new product that you just need to open the cap and you need to apply the glue. It will means your hands will be not stick as well. And they advertise the product in such a way that the people actually don't know the technical name of this particular product. The actually technical name is glue stick. But no one will never speak that I need a glue stick. They will just speak before the stationery market or something like that. They will just speak the Favistic. So this is the way how you can actually, market your product, whether it is a new product. The people will not going to actually, remember the technical name. They will just going to remember your brand name. Now, Walkman. Well, during the 90s, if you see the videos in the Florida or any other place, people used to take the big stereo system on their shoulder. They will go to listen to the songs of Michael Jackson and or something like that. Now, during that time, Sony comes across with a new product, that is the Walkman. It's a handy, it's very small, it's very easy to carry. So, of course, they have acquired the patent, they have the design registration because it's, of course, it's a new and unique product. And they name this product as a Walkman. Now, for this product also, people don't know the actual technical name as far as this product, this Walkman is concerned. People used to demand for a Walkman even in front of the Philips store or any other store. So they advertise the product in such a way that it becomes the secondary meaning to the particular product. There are other products like Vaseline is also there, petroleum jelly, how they actually popularize in the market the products. Then Astral Pipes. So before Astral Pipes, no one actually thought that we should always print our brand name on the pipe. So, and they also have a very leading actors from Bollywood to advertise their brand. Now, if you have a multiple brand, because if you are in the such kind of business, you may have a different product or different brand for different class of people. Like one is for lower, one is for medium, and one is for rich people or rich class. So Tata, they used to come across with a very good strategy as far as the brand name is concerned. They have three different brands. That is, one is Titan, one is Timex, and one is Sonata. So whenever the Diwali comes, they will going to promote Titan. You will see the ad of Amir Khan during the Diwali time and all. They will going to promote this brand. Whenever the school times and all come, they will going to promote Timex because it is for the school school and college boys or girls class, that type of watches, and Sonata is for medium kind of. So you have, if you have a different brands, you can actually manage how you will going to produce or how you will going to market the products for different class of people, so that your brand can become more important and more famous. Now, brands, sub-brands, trade dress, and packaging. Well, during 90s, as I was just speaking about the 10 or 20 years ahead time, we knew that the Samrat Namkeen, actually, as far as my knowledge, they are very first people to advertise the product as far as the with packaging Namkeen and all is concerned. And we used to see the ad of them by whenever you go to see the movies in the theaters, and of course in the television media as well, because social media and all that was not present during that period of time. So they used to come across with this particular branding and the tagline, that is a Samrat Namkeen, that is Ghar Jaisi Hi Namkeen Samrat Namkeen. Why they have to use this tagline? Because as I said, during the 90s, we never used to eat the food, outside food. The 90s kids, they of course they will going to come to know that of course we always used to eat the food product which is been cooked in the home. But the Samrat Namkeen, they are the first, and they used the tagline that the Ghar Jaisi Hi Namkeen Samrat Namkeen, and then slowly and slowly the people used to adapt this brand, and we all know the success story of the Samrat Namkeen as well. Now, why absolutely essential for manufacturer and exporters? Well, as far as India is concerned, India follows the principle of first to use, not first to file. Well, of course, the procedural aspect has been already discussed by Mr. Dilip Sharma. But I just need to add one thing, that whenever you want to apply for a trademark before the trademark registry, you need to do the search. The search is to be done in the two different ways. One is before the trademark registry, and one in the mark. Because trademark registration is not compulsory. The passing of remedy is also there. So first to file and first to use, we're going to explain in detail. You need to conduct the search in the registry and the market, because if someone is already using that brand before you in the market, even though they have not registered the trademark, but he will going to have the better protection whenever he files the trademark application, because we can mention the user date in the trademark application. So that is the first thing, and because the adoption of the trademark, plays the vital role. If you adopt the trademark which is already common, or it is the God's name, or it is the name of river or something like that, you may not have a exclusive right. So the adoption of trademark is very important, and always adopt it. And you can find it with the abbreviation of your family names or something like that. Then to protect your trademarks first in India and later on the respective countries, because I used to hear that I have a world trademark, I have a global trademark registration or something like that. Actually, it doesn't exist. Trademark protection is a territorial protection. You need to file a separate application in separate countries. You can file the application directly, and you can also choose the mandate route, which has been already explained by Mr. Dilip Sharma. We have so many manufacturers in Rajkot, Morbi. They actually export the product without brand. So they will manufacture the product, they will use the brand name of the instrument, they will going to manufacture it. For those people, the trade name, which is very important. So even though if you are not selling your product with your brand, your trade name and your logo is the important. But if someone wants to give the order from Spain or US or UK, they will going to put or enter your name in the Google. And if some similar kind of company is already there, your order, it will going to be given to that particular company. So always be careful to register it. Then you can protect your brand in the least developed countries. You are exporting your product in different countries, because as previously discussed, that to register the trademark in other countries is a bit expensive. But you can start with to register with the least developed countries, because if initial level you feel that you may not be compete with the manufacturing levels of US, UK, Canada, or Europe. Then enforcement, protection of trade. Here, I will going to speak in two different ways, whether you are infringer or you are infringing. Because as I said, that you need to conduct the search before the market as well as the trademark registry. Because once we have the trademark filing culture in India. The first speaker, Mr. He already marked his way that in China they have more registration, but they have more litigations. So once we have more applications in India, people used to get aware of this filing proceedings and all, trademark proceedings and all. Of course, if they have a registration, they will going to take the legal actions as well. So you need to be very much careful while adopting the trademark, by filing the trademark, and by using the trademark. Because if someone files the infringement suit or notice against you, you cannot say that I was not aware about this. Ignorance of law is not justification, right? If you murdered someone and you know that, oh, I wasn't know that doing murder was a crime. It's not like that. In the same way, if someone infringes your product, you may take legal actions immediately. I will give you one simple example. If I am copying someone's your trademark is ABC, it is registered, it is very widely known, and you are from Maharashtra and I am from Gujarat, so I am just copying your trademark, and you just come about to know about my trade. So on the very next stage, you gave me the legal notice, because that is people used to avoid the litigations in the court. The first step they used to give the notice. And I received the notice on the first month, on the first or second months of the starting of my business, and I will going to think that I didn't, actually gain anything as far as this brand is concerned. I have not spent any amount of penny to market this particular trade name or brand name. So in the initial stage, I don't think I should go for a litigation. I will just go to surrender this trademark. I will simply give a reply notice that okay, I will not going to use this trademark. This is your registered trademark. You just give me 1 or 2 months time. I will stop using this trademark. I will going to give the undertaking as well. Now the same scenario. You come to know about me, and after 5, 6, 7 years, you didn't take any action. Now my brand name, my trade names turnover is more than 100 or 200 crores. I already spent lakhs of rupees for brand advertisement in the television media, in the social media, radios and all. After 5 to 7 years, you may want to enter in the Gujarat market, or you may feel that okay, once this company is very grown now, actually, once I should stop in now. So if you are going to give in the notice after 5 to 7 years, I will not going to change the trademark. I guess, as I'm, big company now, my brand is very good, my goodwill is very good. So I will going to spend few lakhs for the litigation, but I will not going to change the trademark. And it will go into the litigation, it will going to be the longer one. So whenever, in Gujarati, we used to have one very good ritual that Kaido e Jagrut Manas, right? So person who actually who actually is very much aggressive to protection of the trademark, even going to have the better protection. As I mentioned, difficult to stop the infringer after giving too much time, and it is always advisable to file the application at the advanced stage, as Mr. Sharma rightly said, because 90% people are the genuine people we have to admit that. So whenever if I want to protect my trademark, I will going to search it before the trademarks office. And if your application is there, if you have filed the application, if your trademark is registered, if your application is there, I will not going to adapt the trademark. So that is the biggest advantage if you have registered a trademark. If your existence is already there, the 90% the genuine people, they will not going to adopt the trademark, the identical trademark. Then, as we already know that after the Make in India campaign, the people are now more become aware. They always used to protect their trademarks in India, and the persons who are actually exporting the products in other countries, they also register their product in other countries. But here I just need to mention one thing: if you are exporting your product and you already have a distributor in the particular country, always prepare the distribution agreement with them, along with the IPR. And you need to mention in the distribution agreement that all the intellectual properties, whether it is a patent, trademark, design, or it is owned by us. So later on, they may not go for filing the application in the respective countries, and it is always advisable to go for a distribution agreement. So with this note, I just like to end my presentation. Thank you so much for listening me patiently. And if you have any questions or query, of course, we have a question answer session. But if you have any other question to Terry, then send me an email on info@hkindia.com. Thank you so much. Over to you, Jalashri.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, the platform is open for discussion and raised queries by our participants, and also our panelists are eager to answer the same. Sir, the very first question is for Mr. Ketan Bhatt. What is the reason that India is filing so less trademarks compared to other small countries?
I guess the main reason is awareness is not there. I guess Acharya sir and all the speakers, they are very much agree with it, because you already know that how much applications the China, the US and the Europe and UK, they used to file, bulk of the application. But as far as the Indian culture is concerned, Indian cultures, we used to speak like that. So, of course, the trademark application, we have so many, thousands of companies, thousands of brands are there, but they actually, not come across or register the trademark before the trademark registry. But now, as I said, this is the biggest challenge, because during this Corona period, as I mentioned, that the manufacturer or trader, they have to, come across, and they need to, approach the customers, and for recognition, I think the trademark plays the vital role. So I think after this situation, of course, people will going to be aware, and they will going to register the trademark. But awareness, I guess, is not there. That is the reason why we have less trademark applications in India.
Then very next question is for Mr. Dilip Sharma. For re-registration of trademark for unused businesses, is it right to decrease the time period from 5 years to say 3 years? So registered user don't enjoy unnecessary luxury, and will it act in favor of other proprietors?
I think this question is from Shreya Verma. So Shreya, small correction that yes, I think I spoke by mistake 3 years. Yes, it is a 5-year time period which is mentioned under the trademark act, 5-year, 3 months additional time period. So yes, I think that as of now, considering the existing scenario, 5 years is a suitable time period, because we have to give a sufficient margin to the trademark proprietor also, that due to some reason, if in case they could not use their particular mark, or they could not renew their mark, then in those particular scenarios, a sufficient time period should be given to them in case of reasonable circumstances, so that they can initiate this particular uses of their particular mark. Due to various reasons, it can happen. So I think that's my perspective. If Ketan sir wants to add further to it.
Yes. Hello. Yeah. What is the question, Jalashri?
For re-registration of trademark for unused businesses, is it right to decrease the time period from 5 years to say 3 years? So registered user don't enjoy unnecessary luxury, and will it act in favor of the other proprietors?
Okay, actually, miss, I was just trying to think, and along with Acharya sir, we also, asked the Controller General and the Ministry that we should have the, in US, in every 5 years, you need to register the user declaration. That you need to submit the user declaration before the USPTO. If you are not able to do that, your trademark will be removed from the register. This is more painful to the pharmaceutical industries, because the giant, the biggest pharmaceutical companies, they used to hire the trademark for the longer time, but don't know whether they are using it or not. So I guess 5 years period time is enough. But in India, unless and until someone files the rectification application under Section 47 on the basis of non-user, registry suo moto, they are not actually taking any action to remove the trade. So I think we should have the law that in every 5 years, the registered proprietor have to submit the evidence of user, even if the trademark is registered. And if they are not able to do that, the trademark registry will remove the trademark from the register. I guess Acharya sir maybe give more lights on this question. So,
You are very right. because you know that after filing the application and you stated in US, we are required to submit a user some document that we have used the mark.
Yes, sir.
So there should not be a unnecessary mark lying on the register of the trademarks. And sometimes some industries and some people are misusing that mark, which they are not using. So it is required that the period should be a little bit less than 5 years.
Okay. The next question is for Mr. Vikas Jain.
Yeah. Question is,
Can you
Yeah, please go
elaborate the meaning of counterfeit trademark? And what can trademark owners do to minimize the counterfeiting?
so like I said, counterfeiting in simple terms, it could be, basically somebody trying to copy your brand, putting your brand name in different forms, right? On a product which they manufactured, which is probably very likely of a substandard quality, is something which is a counterfeit product. Along with the fact that it could also be a spurious product or a product of a poor quality or a variant of your name as well. For example, you might have seen a lot of people misspell, things like L'Oreal. They would miss out. Oh, this would also, fall into the counterfeit category, right? So, as a brand, of course, you need to be aware of these aspects in terms of, what are the various ways in people can replicate your brand name, replicate your design. We've also seen packaging where people have replicated design as is, in terms of complete packaging and only change the name slightly. So even your design, if it's, trademark or patented, if your design is copyrighted, sorry, in that case, you also need to protect your design as well. So multiple ways in which counterfeiters will look to copy your product and confuse the end user. The best way, of course, is to be able to be, ensure that you are enforcing your IP, along with the fact, like I said, technology. Don't hesitate to use technology. I think technology in this day and age is very important, and how you leverage technology to protect your own brand, and also make your consumers aware is also very important. Now, consumers are aware. Consumers are, in fact, very happy to be able to, if a brand provides them a tool to protect, to verify the authenticity of the product, consumers are very happy to actually do that action and be able to identify that the product they're buying is a genuine product or not. So yeah, so two things, be aware of what is happening in the market. There are multiple ways in which counterfeits can happen, and also protect the counterfeits through both legal and technology, methods.
Okay. The next question is for Mr. Ketan Bhatt.
Yes.
Can I take action against anyone who is copying my brand if mine is not registered?
Yes, of course. As I said during my presentation, that trademark registration is not compulsory. The passing of remedy is there, and the protection is given to the person who actually first use. So, but of course, if you have your trademark is registered, it's very easy to convince the court that if you have the registration certificate with you, it will be very easy to convince the court that we are the registered proprietor and we are the legal owner of this trademark. If you do not have the registration of application, you need to submit the vital documents, the invoices, your turnover and all. And sometimes, if your user is very older, we do not have such kind of evidences with us. So yes, even if your trademark is not registered, if you do not file the application, you can take legal action against the infringer. But it's always advisable to have the trademark registration certificate with us.
The next question is for Mr.
I would like to add something.
Yes, sir.
So as far as legal actions are concerned, and there are two ways. One is the infringement of the trademark. Infringement of the trademarks suit can be done only if the mark is registered. But if the mark is not registered, then it is known as a passing of action in the court. In the court, when you go to the judge and you can ask that your mark is registered, it is very easy to get an order. At least you can have interim order for registered mark very easily. Otherwise, you have to prove that you are the prior user with the documents if your mark is not registered. This is how it can be.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next question is for Mr. Dilip Sharma. As you mentioned about reimbursement from government for patent, trademark and GI, can you please inform whom to approach for the same?
For this particular reimbursement, we have the online portal that is MSME website, My MSME. You can either register over there or we have NIMSME, that is National Institute of MSME. You can approach that, or you can also approach the IP facilitation centers which are established in various states. So these are the different places where you can approach. Similarly, like in various states, there are also government organizations like iHub is there in Gujarat, where you can approach to them and they will provide help or facilitate you in the filing and support of and even in the process of the reimbursement for these particular things. So these are the different ways of taking or applying for the reimbursement.
The next question is for you only. Suppose plaintiff has admitted during examination report that plaintiff trademark is not similar to the defendant. In such admission, is amount to be estoppel in infringement case?
I believe this question is little on a practical aspect, so probably Rajesh Acharya sir will be in a better position to answer on this thing because it's a part of prosecution and the infringement proceedings. So,
Will you please repeat the question?
Yes. Suppose plaintiff has admitted during examination report that plaintiff trademark is not similar to the defendant. In such admission, is amount to be estoppel in infringement case?
You say, of course, because when you admitted once, and generally it is on the affidavit that my mark is not similar to other one, then how you can take an action? It is rather very difficult things.
Yes, sir. So the next question is for Mr. Ketan Bhatt.
Yes.
Is it possible to apply only for the trademark logo without attach any word?
Yes, it can be registered. As I said, the main thing is that the trademark should be distinctive and it should be capable of distinguishing the goods or services from one person to those of another. It can be label, it can be word, it can be device. So the device which is do not have any word or something like that, it can be registered. I guess the logo of Apple is already there in I think Mr. Sharma's presentation without mentioning any particular word or something like that. So logo, the device can be registered alone if it fulfills the criteria of the definition of trade.
Thank you, sir. So now moving forward, I now request Ms. Alpa Rawal to deliver a vote of thanks. She is a practicing company secretary from ICSI, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. She is a graduate in commerce and law. She is the proprietor of the firm A. Rawal and Associates and is associated with HK Acharya and Company for the past 3 years, wherein she gives her legal assistance in various matters related to the Companies Act, LLP Act, Contract Act, FEMA Act, etc. She is having a wide knowledge in the field of contract and agreement drafting. Her area of expertise includes matters related to insolvency and bankruptcy code and Companies Act. She has also been actively appearing in the various matters of litigation before the Honorable NCLT and other forums. Now I request Ms. Alpa Rawal to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Jalashri, for this kind introduction. It indeed gives me a great pleasure to perform this pleasant task of delivering vote of thanks on behalf of markpatent.org. I extend my deepest gratitude towards Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya for providing me this facility and for allowing me to deliver this vote of thanks. I am also thankful to our chief guest, Mr. Hetal Mehta, Managing Director, Happy Engineering, for his inspiring presence and setting the tone for this webinar. I further extend my gratitude towards Mr. Vikas Jain, founder and CEO of Equus Technologies, for his words of wisdom that provided direction to each one of us. I'm also grateful to Mr. Dilip Sharma, Assistant Professor, ICFAI Law School, for his views and observations. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to extend my gratitudes towards Mr. Ketan Bhatt for diving us deep into the field of trademark, both with the practical perspective as well as from the procedural perspective. I also thank the sponsors for their wholehearted support to this program. Last but not the least, I am thankful to all the participants whose presence in large number has encouraged us. We look forward for your participation in future as well. And lastly, I'll be failing in my duties if I do not express my sincere appreciation to the team of markpatent.org for organizing this webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you, Jalashri.
Thank you very much, Alpa. Sir, the one question has came for Mr. Dilip Sharma.
Yes, please.
Can you guide us if we can apply for one trademark for multiple class, and what are the benefits and disadvantages for the same?
Yes, we can apply a single trademark for multiple classes. Even through a single application, you can select multiple classes in which you want to apply. So it will help you in various manners that a single trademark can represent the different products which you are launching through under your umbrella trademark or under your umbrella brand name. So that's about it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. In closing, I wish to express my gratitude to all the panelists and participants for their full cooperation. It offers me a chance to commemorate our success in pursuing an excellence in the field of IPR. We are privileged to have attendings such distinguished experts as well as observers. Having such a resourceful and knowledgeable panelists which have helped us to gain insight on strengthening mechanism as a means of promoting IPR. I would like to add one saying that every trademark you build adds the financial value of your business much more than your tangible assets. Well, with this, we sum up our session. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you everyone, and wish everyone to stay home and stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Bye-bye.